The Gaza Strip, a small region, but it has been the scene of decades of conflict, occupation, and bloodshed. The fighting between Hamas and Israel is nothing new. However, in recent times, Gaza has been reduced to rubble by Israel's military campaign. According to the United Nations, millions of people have been displaced, thousands have been killed, hospitals and schools have been destroyed, and food and water shortages are severe. Guterres said, "The humanitarian situation has reached a critical point." But the question is, who is responsible for this situation? And why is the international community unable to do anything effective? Antonio Guterres is the Secretary General of the United Nations. He said something very direct at this press conference. First, he said, "This war is morally, politically, and legally unacceptable." This means that this war is not only humanitarian, but also in violation of international law. Second, Guterres clearly said, Israel is not yet ready for serious negotiations. That is, there is no realistic progress on the path to a ceasefire. Third, he warned, the military operation in Gaza City could last for months, because Hamas's tunnel network and infrastructure are so deep and complex. Fourth, Guterres stressed, the humanitarian situation is dire. Food shortages, water shortages, collapsed hospitals, these are directly affecting ordinary people. Finally, he called on the international community to protect human rights, respect international law, and increase pressure for a ceasefire now. You might be thinking, the UN Secretary General always talks about peace. What's new in this? Actually, the big issue here is the timing and tone. Guterres' statement exudes desperation and urgency. He no longer cloaks himself in diplomatic language, but directly points the finger at Israel's reluctance. This is important for three reasons. One, the depth of the humanitarian crisis. If the war does not stop now, Gaza will become virtually uninhabitable. Two, international law question. If such incidents remain unpunished, then there will be no protection for civilians in any future war. Three, geopolitical deadlock. The United States, Europe, Middle Eastern countries, everyone is looking out for their own interests. In this situation, Guterres' voice is ringing like a bell of conscience. Israel says Hamas is a threat to their existence. Therefore, military operations are mandatory. Many say a ceasefire means giving Hamas time so that they can gather strength again. On the other hand, critics believe no solution is possible without a ceasefire. To save ordinary people, at least a humanitarian corridor must be opened. The conflict here is security versus humanity. Israel is making its security argument, but millions of ordinary people are paying the price. Partial ceasefire and humanitarian corridor, stopping the fighting for a few weeks, delivering aid. This will bring some relief, but it is a temporary solution. Long-term military campaign, Israel will push deeper into Gaza. It will cause massive casualties, reduce Gaza to rubble, and deepen hatred. Regional expansion. If Hezbollah or Iran get directly involved, the conflict could spread across the entire Middle East. Diplomatic agreement. If international pressure increases enough, a negotiating table could be created with the intervention of major powers. But this is the most difficult path. These statistics, beyond the analysis, are the stories of ordinary people. A mother lost her 3 children to a bomb. A doctor stood in the rubble of a hospital and said, "We swore to save people, but here we fight death every day." Children have lost their schools, their playgrounds, their childhoods. These are not just numbers, these are real people, real suffering. So what can be done now? White heavy check mark, we want a ceasefire now. White heavy check mark, we want humanitarian aid to reach. White heavy check mark, we must abide by international law. White heavy check mark, if there are war crimes, we want an investigation and trial. But not only the government, but also ordinary people can do something. If you want, you can. Send aid to humanitarian organizations. Be aware of fake news. Pressure your representatives or policymakers. And most importantly, be the voice of humanity. The UN Secretary General's warning is not just on paper, it is a kind of alarm bell. The Gaza war is not just a crisis in the Middle East, it is a crisis of humanity. If we remain silent today, tomorrow we may see the same scene elsewhere in another war. Therefore, our responsibility is to be aware, stand up for the truth, and strengthen the demand for humanity. If you think this discussion is important, then share the video, like it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We will be back with more analysis of world politics and recent events. Until then, stay well, stay safe.